Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in today's second video to USA forecast for today's second video. So as was on a Wednesday, we're going to have a look at the weather for next week to 10 days and beyond for the United States. I shall get on with that for you in a moment. Things are developing in the Gulf of Mexico, so we'll have a look at that. That's where we'll start. And then we'll have a look at the wider scene across America. Really hot in the southwest of America at the moment, so more about that in a second. Just say about the first video release today was our 7 AM upload. We also will be releasing our 10 to 14 day later on this afternoon. I'm going to be live streaming from 6 o'clock. I'm going to do Stormwatch live. It won't be around half an hour. Won't be a full hour live. It's just going to be like Stormwatch, but live stream. So it'll probably run around 6:30, something like that, 6 to 6:30. And yeah, so we'll have a little live stream and we'll look at the latest data in terms of these thunderstorms that are on the way, tonight and into tomorrow. So I'll see you live at 6, hopefully. Right, okay, let's get on with the video then. So here we go. We're going to have a look at the situation in the Tropical Atlantic and Gulf of Mexico first of all. So we've got Bill up here. Now, Bill is sort of dying away. It's a tropical storm yesterday. It's moved up to Newfoundland and is a post-tropical cyclone, giving maximum sustained winds of 50 miles per hour with a minimum central pressure of 1,002 millibars. Bill will sort of die away in the next few hours and, just be an area of low pressure moving into the North Atlantic. And then we've got this orange X just here. So that one is Disturbance 1 with a 60% chance of tropical cyclone formation in the next 48 hours, but a 90% chance in the next 5 days. I won't read everything that they're saying about that, but the idea is that this system will push northwards through the Gulf of Mexico and develop probably to a tropical storm and move on to the Gulf Coast of the States at the end of the week and into the weekend probably. This is how the wind flow map looks from earthnullschool.net across the tropics today. So if we pull this around, you can see that the disturbance area that is going to almost certainly become a tropical cyclone in the next 5 days is just there. It doesn't look like much at the moment, but as this pushes northwards, will sort of get stronger as it moves over the warm waters of the Gulf of Mexico. So let's see how the GFS is dealing with this. So this is from tropicaltidbits.com. There's that little disturbance area just there. Again, it doesn't look like much at the moment, but if we push through, we can see that eventually we do get a system developing in the Gulf of Mexico, I should say. That's it just there on Friday, right in the center of the Gulf of Mexico and heading northwards as well. So as we push on into the weekend, this is Saturday, you see then the area of low pressure is moving onto the Gulf Coast. Again, I don't think it's going to be a hurricane. I think it's going to be a tropical storm. But it is very early to be seeing tropical storms in, the tropical Atlantic and in the Gulf of Mexico. Very, very early days for this. So again, it's probably a heads up of where this season is going when we get into like peak season, which will be around September. By the time we get through to Sunday, that system is sort of dying a death really across southern parts of America, being absorbed into a more general area of low pressure. There's also another system just here, you'll notice. Let's see where that comes from. So if we go backwards, you can see that so there's like a area of low pressure, a trough comes out of the southeastern part of America on Thursday, and that might develop into like another tropical storm somewhere in the middle of the Atlantic. Just there, that has sort of tropical or sub. Let's get rid of that. That has tropical or sort of subtropical type look to it. Just there, so that will be one to watch as well. That might get named by the weekend too. Looks very active for so early on in the season. Right, so let's have a look at the white. So that's what I'll take about things going on, like in the Gulf of Mexico and Tropical Atlantic. This is how things are looking in terms of the GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles for Phoenix Arizona today. This is probably going to be one of the hottest ensembles that you're going to see for quite a long time. So, of course, it's a very, very hot place in Arizona at the best of times, and particularly this time of the year. So the red line is like the 30-year upper air temperature average for Phoenix, Arizona, and you can see that the average is between 20 and 25, between 20 and 25 degrees at 858 degrees, which is very, very hot in terms of an upper air temperature average. So it's a hot place at the best of times, but it is hotter than average at the moment, and the upper air temperatures are actually sort of between 30 and 35 degrees at 858 degrees. That's almost certainly lifting the temperature into the 40s Celsius, well into the 100s Fahrenheit. Extreme heat in the West and the Southwest America. We do see that heat easing back a little bit as we go into the early part of next week. Only easing back towards the long-term average, but easing back a little bit. But then it's taking off again. The heat is taking off again as we move into the last week of June. So it's going to be a really, really hot couple of weeks coming up for western and southwestern parts of America. And of course, as you'd expect, being like an arid climate, there's very little in the way of rain over the next week to 10 days at least. Maybe some precipitation spikes appearing there late time. Of course, that's a long way off and would be a little bit unusual to start getting rain in Arizona at this time of the year. But I suppose these things can happen. But yeah, very, very, very hot and very dry as well. As you'd expect, like for Arizona, it's a very hot place anyway. But it is very extreme what we are seeing here. Right, temperature anomalies from the 16th to the 24th of June looking like this for the states. So it's an east-west split. Western and especially southwestern parts of America much hotter than average, as we've already explained. It is really hot over on the western, southwestern side of America. Much cooler, though, over in the east. So through the Midwest into the east, up into the northeast, cooler than average through there. Breadbasket looking cooler than average as well. A real east-west divide with the temperature anomaly. And many of the states are drier than average as well in the week ahead from the 16th to the 24th of June. Most central western states are coming out drier than average. It's a little bit wetter than average in these southern states. Again, that is going to be from the area of low that we think might develop into a tropical storm over the Gulf of Mexico. We've already established that pushes northwards onto the Gulf Coast at the weekend and will bring very wet weather to that southern part of America. But other than that, I mean, most parts of the states looking pretty dry, especially the central and western regions. Right, this is the setup across America today with the GFS. So the idea is, of course, we've got this extreme heat in the west and southwest, pushing up through the Rocky Mountain states. We've got a ridge that's sitting through the Midwest, and on the eastern side of the ridge, we've got cooler air coming in from Canada from the north. Perhaps the upper air temperatures show this a little bit better. So to the far northwest, the Pacific Northwest, as it often is cooler, and then many of these eastern northeastern states are cooler as well. But southern, southwestern states, we see that heat surging northwards towards the Canadian border. So a really hot scene across the western and southwestern states today. Now, as we go through into tomorrow, we're going to find, again, that heat continues in the southwest. To the east and the northeast, though, it looks quite a bit cooler through there, and there's an area of low pressure actually digging into the north from Canada that will bring showers along with spells of rain into those northern and northeastern states. That's how the upper air temperatures look as we get to the weekend. So again, extreme heat. The heat wave goes on in these western and southwestern states, begin to push a little bit further north as well towards the northwestern part of America, and starting to expand out a little bit in towards those more eastern states too. There's that trough that's coming out of Gulf of Mexico that could well be a tropical storm, bringing heavy rain onto the Gulf Coast. Right, into next week. So, again, we've got this east-west split continuing. We've got low pressure over Canada that's pulling in cool winds from the north into many of the midwestern and northeastern states. At the same time, it looks pretty hot again out to the west. The upper air temperatures next week look like that. Very hot air surging up the western side of America Again, extreme heat from the southwest all the way up to Canada. Further eastwards, it looks pretty cool through the Midwest. And then we've got warmth pushing up the east coast, up the eastern seaboard too. Moving into the middle of next week again, you know, we keep it looking cooler and more showery in the north and the northeast with the heat. Perhaps we're seeing a little bit away to the west and the southwest, but still a very hot scene across those southern southwest states. Upper air temperatures by Saturday, Saturday 26th of June, I should say, which is day 10, shows that, again, we have got this extreme heat in the southern and southwest states, but at the same time, it just looks a lot cooler up to the north and to the northeast as well. Into the more extended range, we look like this. So gradually we start getting a ridge building to the southeast part of America that could begin to pull up heat into northeastern and eastern parts of the states. So by the time we get to the end of the GFS run, which gets us into early July, of course, extreme heat in the west and southwest, that goes on. But you see how it's becoming much hotter then through many of these central, eastern and northern states as well. So just generally the heat expanding out as we get to the end of June and the beginning of July, courtesy of the ridge forming around the southeastern part of America. That's a long way off though, so it may not come off at the moment. Certainly for the next week, 10 days, I think the heat is primarily restricted to the western, southwestern states. You know, it's beyond that, but we might start to see eastern, midwestern and northern states becoming a lot hotter. This is how the ECM looks for Euro. Again, very, very similar setup for today. So cool and showery with this trough in the northeast. Very hot in the west and the southwestern part of America. Into the end of the week with your upper air temperatures. Again, you see it's cooler in the east and the northeast. Extreme heat again from the Rocky Mountain states all the way back to the west and southwestern part of America. And then into the weekend and the early part of next week, we find cooler air digging in from the north into these northern states. Again, it's really hot, though, out in the west and the southwestern part of America. The upper air temperatures look like that on Tuesday next week. So again, extreme heat for the west and southwestern states, always looking cooler further north you go. Although I think the east end is probably a little bit warmer than these eastern states, a little bit hotter for the eastern coast in particular compared to the GFS through the early part of next week. The northern states, though, do still look quite cool. Significant area of low pressure there. That's like a tropical type feature of the east coast of America through the middle part of next week, or the remains of tropical feature. By day 10, this is how the upper air temperatures look. So again, they just begin to expand out a little bit. So I think by the time we get through to like the last week of June, we may well see the heat expanding and pushing out across large parts of America, but particularly hot again in these western and southwestern regions. Right, so let's have a look at the Surface V2, and then we're done. This USA forecast. If you enjoyed it, then please smash the like button. Thank you so much, everybody, for doing that. Right, so this is week 1 for CFS, 500 millibar high dominantly from the 15th to 21st of June. The coming week, we'll have high pressure, of course, in the west. It's going to be producing this extreme heat wave. Meanwhile, low pressure will be in the east and the northeast, keeping things significantly cooler through there. This is how week 2 looks. It's going to be the 22nd, 28th of June. So high pressure away to the northwest, low pressure in the Midwest, and high pressure down towards the southern states. And again, jet stream is pushed southwards. So that's probably bring like cooler conditions southwards, and probably seeing the heat wave retreating a little bit from the west and from the southwest. Although still hot, of course, in the west, but I think probably turning a little bit cooler across western parts of America, but at the same time probably getting hotter in this southern and southeastern part of America, actually. And this could be hot for many central, northern, eastern areas of America. This is week 3, 29th of June to 5th of July, with high pressure in the east, and that pulls up these hot winds from the south. Low pressure is away to the northwest. Then we go through to week 4, which is the 6th through to the 12th of July. And again, high pressure is sitting in the north and could be pulling up hot winds to many parts of America there. Let's have a look at the temperature anomaly. So a real east-west split, as already explained, for the week ahead from the 15th, 21st of June. Really hot in the west and southwest, much cooler in the east and the northeast. This is week 2, which is the 2nd, 28th of June. Generally quite cool through many parts of America, especially the northern, northeastern and midwestern areas. And notice not as hot in the southwest either. Heat just retreating a little bit and easing slightly, although the northwest, rather unusually actually, the Pacific Northwest does look really warm there. Week 3 generally sees a warm-up. This is 29th of June to the 5th of July. A general sort of warm-up taking place across many parts of America, especially through Midwest and into the east and the northeast. Turning a little bit cooler, though, in the west and the northwest, interestingly. And then we get through to week 4, which is the, we get through to week 4, which is just here, which is the 6th through to the 12th of July. And just generally hotter than average then, from the west coast all the way through to the east coast. Precipitation-wise, we look like that from the 15th to 21st of July. So many parts of the states are dry now, especially these eastern areas. It is wet in the far south, though, of course, and that's going to be from the remains of that tropical storm moving northwards from the Gulf of Mexico over the weekend. Week 2 is the 27th, 28th of June, so wetter than average in the north, drier than average, though, in the south, or around the Gulf Coast. Week 3 is the 29th of June to the 5th of July, drier than average in the southeast, wetter than average in the northeast, near normal through those western states. And then week 4 is the 6th through to the 12th of July, and it's varying from area to area, rather wet in these east and southeastern states. Again, that might be like hurricane or tropical storm related. Notice that does connect back into the Gulf of Mexico through here, so it looks like there's a path that's going on there from the Gulf of Mexico into the east and the northeast. It's 4 weeks away, though, so it's hard to see how the CFS will pick up on a tropical storm or hurricane pushing northwards, but it does look as though that connects back to the Gulf, so it's kind of the idea there, but that might be tropical storm related. Driving average around Florida, and then many parts of the other states just looking generally average, really, and varying from area to area. Okay, so the primary concern, of course, at the moment is like the heat wave in the southwest. That's going to carry on through the next few days. We'll probably ease a little bit through west and southwest, though, next week. But certainly through the next 4 or 5 days, extreme heat in western and southwest part of America. It's a very hot time of year anyway, of course, but even given that, it is extreme, what we're seeing in terms of this heat wave at the moment. And then probably just a general sort of expanding out, warming up process taking place across America into the last week of June and probably into July. And of course, the wider picture is like what's happening in the tropics. Very, very early start to this tropical storm / hurricane season. Again, just building up the idea, building up the evidence. But as we go along through this summer and particularly into the autumn, or the fall, I suppose, I'm doing a USA forecast, we're likely to see a pretty big season, I think, this year, again, in the tropics. So that's like the background sort of concern. Right, that's it for USA Forecast this week. If you enjoyed it, then please like, share, subscribe. Thank you so much, everybody, for doing that. We'll be back later on with a 10 to 14 day for the UK and for Northern Europe. And then, of course, we're going to be live streaming for half an hour tonight doing a Storm Watch live. So that's going to be a bit of fun going through the high-res models to see what the chances are of thunderstorms in the UK tonight and tomorrow. For this week's USA Forecast, that's all for now. Thanks for watching.